There's a world out there, a world waiting for you. Waiting to be explored. Waiting for you to leave your mark. Question is, are you ready for takeoff? To see places you never imagined. We fly so you can touch the sky. Captain Flacco invites you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the views as we take the skies. Welcome to That Flight Sim channel. As always, happy flying.
What's going on, everybody? Captain Gonzo here with That Flight Sim channel. Welcome you back. Spontaneous live stream here. You know how much we like to drop in by surprise. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on the mighty 777-300ER from Pmdg. Tonight, we are taking her down from New York Kennedy's JFK, the heart and soul here of New York State. And we're going to be flying down to Atlanta, Georgia. So hang back, sit back, just enjoy the ride here, guys. We're going to start her up from cold and dark. That's how we like to do it here at That Flight Sim channel. And I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a warning and in advance, kind of a heads up. So in any scenery like this one from any builds here at JFK, with the environment, the city, the traffic injector, and all the apps that I've got running, you might see some stuttering going on with my camera. So apologies for that, but I promise you, once we're airborne and clear out of the JFK scenery, it'll be a lot smoother. So anyways, guys, let's jump right into the cockpit and let's get her started up, shall we? Alrighty, let's just reduce the volume here of this music a little bit. Kind of a little bit too loud. There we go. Alright, guys, so yeah, we've got our flight plan already set up from JFK down to Atlanta. So let's go ahead and get our battery powered on. We'll set the cabin utility, IFE, in-flight entertainment, and passenger seats on. And while that's going, let's go ahead and fire up that APU. And here we go. This is what I was talking about, guys. You see how the screen is kind of stuttering there a little bit. So while that's making its mind up, let's go ahead and just pause track IR here. Let's go ahead and load up our flight plan from SimBrief. There we go. And tonight our call sign is American 781 Heavy. And we will be indeed using Beyond ATC. So stay tuned for that. So we got everything here. And I am using an iPad 2 on the real world here, so I can kind of gauge off of all this, the data sheet and all that, and get the aircraft ready. So while that's happening, let's go to our departure airport. And again, this is all the Pmdg electronic flight bag. So guys, I like to do this. I start up with my airport information, right? My airport diagram. I like to go ahead and grab my SID once I know it, so stand by for that. Let's take a look. Looks like we're taking off direct to the Romeo Bravo Victor VOR. So let's look up the SIDs here, which I believe Kennedy 5 should include that one. There she is, Robbinsville. So we're expecting runway 22 right out of JFK today, so we'll be taking off on 22 right, and then we'll be heading to Robbinsville. So let's go ahead and pin that one. And then for the arrival, looks like we're expecting Aussie 1. Here we go. Nope, wrong one. And I guess we've got 2 separate arrivals depending on what runways we're expecting. So right now we are expecting runway 28 in Atlanta. So we're going to go with the Aussie 1 RNAF arrival, runways 26 right, 27 left, and 28. There we go. And guys, you can always just come here to your pinned. And look, now you've got all your pinned plates. Kind of helps you find them a little easier. We'll save the approach one for a little later. So anyways, let's go ahead and start setting up the aircraft. So let me do a quick trick that I have to do here to reset the stuttering. Again, sorry about this, guys. Once we're airborne, this will no longer be an issue. There we go. Alright, so let's go to the FMC. Let me check my overhead panel. I'm still not 100% good with firing up the 777, but we're going to try it. We're going to set our left and right electric to auto, backup generators to on, left and right engine generators. Of course, they will come on once the engines are running. Right now, fuel pumps are off. APU bleed is on. Let's get our ADIRU. Let's arm our emergency lights. Window heat, we'll leave them as they are for now. We'll leave auto start and on. And as you can clearly tell, I'm all over the place, guys. I'm not even following a specific flow here. I'm just kind of going with the flow, and no pun intended. There we go. We've got some power to our PFDs, MFDs, and all the good stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and set her up. Now be advised, my AirAct data, I forgot to update it before starting the sim, and I was too lazy to go back in and update it to 2407. I believe it's the next cycle. But we should be good. So let's go ahead and start it up. JFK. And then we're just going to set it to wherever it's picking up right here at the airport. So there we go. IRS position has been set. Everything looks good. GPS nav is on. So good. Let's go to our route. So what you can do here is do a route request, and it should pick it up from your sim brief. So let's go ahead and try that. There it is. Sim brief route, JFK to Atlanta. And it's even going to spit out the numbers of what the sim brief flight plan or the dispatch system made out for you. So right now I'm going to just look over at my plan from sim brief, and yeah, block fuel of 52,552 pounds or 52.6, and we're looking at a zero fuel weight of 452,000 pounds. So what you want to do is click on set payload. Sim brief payload has been set. Set fuel if we wanted to do that now. Block fuel has been set, and that makes it a lot easier, guys. So you don't have to sit here and do everything by hand. You can just have sim brief do all the work for you. So let's go to select route. So runway 22 right is what we're expecting. Of course, we're going to tune into ATIS here shortly, and we're going to see what they want us to do. So let's go ahead and get our route set up. So we're starting with direct to Romeo. Oh, there we go. It's downloading the or uploading, I should say, the route information. So destination forecast uplink is ready. Great. Wind data uplink is ready. And the performance initialization uplink is ready. Okay. There we go. Let's load it, which is the route. Route 1 uplink is loading. You gotta love how far technology's come for flight simmers nowadays, guys. This makes life so much easier. There we go. So now we can take a look at our page, and here we go. Voila. Our route is set. So it looks like we're going direct to Robbinsville. Then via Quebec 430, we're going to Bird. and via Jets 48 to Mall, direct Flask, and then we'll take the Aussie 1 arrival that we can always set up later. So for now, let's see if I gotta put it in direct. I forget if this works or not. Nah, doesn't do anything. Alright. So we'll execute. Now that route is active. And again, 22 right will be the runway for departure. There we go. It was just missing the runway. Alright. Let's go to our initial rev. So right now it's asking for our 0 fuel weight. So what you can do is you can go to your menu, FS Actions, Payload, and you can get all your values here, guys. So you can see your gross weight, your max takeoff weight, your 0 fuel weight as it sits right now, your takeoff center of gravity, and you can customize your loadout here with passengers and cargo. And because I've already gone ahead and synced it to my sim brief, it did all the work for me, so I don't have to worry about it. You can go back to the summary here. Let me just verify my fuel. Yep, 52,500, which is 52.6, you know, rounded up. While we're doing this, let's go ahead and call GSX for a second, and let me make sure of something, because Pmdg has their own ground surface equipment and stuff like that, so I don't want them to be the one doing it. I want GSX doing all my boarding and stuff like that. So the wheel chocks are set. Make sure my parking brake is on, which it wasn't. Excuse me. Service vehicles, here we go. I think I was just in this page. Ground connections, this is what I was looking for. So make sure you've got PAX entry as Jetway so that you don't have random stairs come up, and go from there, guys. Alright, let's try it. Let's get GSX. Let's operate the Jetway, and let's see what she does. As you can see, the Jetway is coming towards the aircraft. That's exactly what we want. Alright, so while that's happening, let's go back to our FMC and our 0 fuel weight, which I should have paid attention. I believe you can just click on it, and there it goes. Another lovely feature of Pmdg. And you've got your gross weight, your fuel, your 0 fuel weight, your reserves, all the good stuff. And we are expecting cruising altitude of flight level 380, costing this 15, which I'm probably going to change to get a little bit more performance on the climb out. But then again, we're not doing too long of a flight for this aircraft type, so nothing to worry about right now. So we'll accept all these parameters because we like them, right? That's what we saw in the flight plan. Thrust limit. So now we get to go and do our takeoff calculation. So let's go over here to the Pmdg EFB. We're going to go to the performance tool. We're going to select runway 22 right. Flap config, we'll set 5. Rating optimum. AI config, which is the anti-ice, we're going to have it off. And the AC config will be auto. So let's import from the aircraft. And let's import the weather. And we are using real weather tonight. And let's hit calculate. And there we go, guys. We've got our values that we need to send over to the FMC. So it looks like we are looking at a cell temperature of 46 degrees Celsius. So we are going to come here. We're going to do 46. Let's go to takeoff. Flaps 5. CG. Once again, you can just click on it, and Pmdg automatically throws it in your scratch pad for you. 29.1. And I'm not going to input my VRA speeds just yet. Let's get our wind information. According to the EFB, winds are 190 at 10. While we're doing this, let's go ahead and tell GSX that we're ready for boarding. Okay, and let's check the runway slope, which had a slope of 0.02%. So pretty much 0. There we go. And the reference outside air temperature. Let's look up. There it is, 25 degrees. So we're going to set that in there for the takeoff roll. And before I click on my V-speeds, let's make sure to select our departure. We're at JFK 5. 22 right. Execute. Let's check our legs. Flask, and then now we can do our arrival. So let's go to index, Atlanta, and we said we wanted Aussie 1. Now I gotta pull up this chart, so let's take a look at it and see what transition we can expect after. Oh no, disregard. There it is, Flask. Having a brain freeze there, of course. ILS runway 28. Let's see what transition we can expect for that. We got all types of approaches. Here we go. Let's just go with the ILS localizer 28. And it looks like we're going to go for Perman. Perman's going to be the transition that we're looking for, or the approach fix there. Now we can take a look at our route. So we'll select Flask, throw it in there, get rid of that discontinuity. And there we go. And let's take a look outside, see if we've got some boarding action going on. Oh, looks like they've been waiting for me to open the doors. Sorry. And again, guys, sorry for the stutters there. This is all just because of the scenery here. So let me go to the ground operations. Good lord, this is wild. Door management. Let's open up. Disarm all, I should say. There we go. Let's open up the second. Cargo, aft and forward are opening. There we go. So I think we're pretty much set up now. Let's go ahead while we let this. Look at the passengers coming in. Yep, sorry about that, guys. Once again, let's just do the quick trick here, which is to just play around with one of the graphic slider settings, and it kind of gets rid of that stutter. Again, I've never been able to pinpoint why that happens. I've done all the tricks with YouTube's recommendations and whatnot, but nothing seems to get rid of this, and only happens with certain aircraft. But no biggie, just temporary setback. Anyways, I think it's about time we start talking to ATC here shortly. So let's go to Beyond ATC. Our ATIS is going to be on 128.725. There we go. Let's get ATIS information.
22 right, 22 left. Numerous cranes in operation around Kennedy. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Victor. Kennedy Airport information, Victor. 20010. Wind 205 at 10, visibility 10. Ceiling 8000 broken. 12000 broken. 15000 broken. Temperature 25. 2.22. Altimeter 3020. Landing and departing runways 22 right, 22 left. Numerous cranes in operation around Kennedy. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Victor. Kennedy Airport information, Victor.
Alright, so we got information, Victor. Winds 20510, altimeter 3020, and landing and departing 22 left, 22 right. which makes sense. That's what we got for our departure. So while we're here, now that we've got information Victor, let's go ahead and give clearance a call on 135.050. Oh, let me switch my hand up. There we go. One 135.050, and that is Kennedy clearance. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a call now and get our IFR clearance down to Atlanta. And let me just verify my call sign, American 781 Heavy. Okay. Kennedy clearance, good afternoon, American 781 Heavy with Victor requesting IFR clearance down to Atlanta.
I missed the call sign for that last clearance request. Say again, call sign.
Kennedy clearance, American 781 Heavy requesting clearance to Atlanta.
American 781 Heavy, Kennedy clearance, thanks for Victor. Cleared to Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta I Airport. Radar vectors Robbinsville, then is filed. Maintain 4000. Expect flight level tree 80, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 1, tree, 5.9. Squawk, tree, 1, 2 tree.
I like that New York accent there. Okay, American 781 Heavy is cleared to the Hartsfield.
Negative, departure frequency 1 tree 5.9er.
1 tree 5.9er for American 781 Heavy.
Negative, departure frequency 1 tree 5.9er.
1 tree 5.9er.
Negative, departure frequency 1 tree 5.9er.
Well, you guys can see beyond ATC, it's just being lovely tonight.
Cleared to Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta I Airport. Radar vectors Robbinsville, then as filed. Maintain 4000. Expect flight level 380, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 135.9er. Squawk 3123, American 781 Heavy.
American 781 Heavy, read back correct. Contact ground 121.9er when ready for push or start.
Alright, we'll call ground on 121.9er. We're ready for push to start, American 781 Heavy. Alright, we've got ground frequency set there. Wonder how the boarding process is going. And I'm going to check on the outside, guys, just to see how it's going. I think my passengers are all boarded, but I'm going to take a look. So once again, I apologize for the lag that's about to happen. Oh, everybody's gone. Perfect. All right, let's get our cargo doors closed. Let's close our entry. Again, let's do a little trick here. Let's reset the graphics. Rarely gets annoying after a while, but at the same time, I've just gotten used to living with the pain. So, you know what, for now, just to maximize the realism of the flight, we're gonna keep the view here in the cockpit just to mitigate all that junk happening again. So we're gonna verify that all doors are in fact closed, and you can see that by the open option. Let's press arm all. There we go. We've got green. All doors are armed. Beautiful. Ground service vehicles, everything is disconnected. We don't have anything. Let's go ahead and remove chocks since we've got the brakes on. And we're going to pin this for the arrival. Alright, anyways, let's go to our airport info. Let's go to JFK. We're going to have that ready because we're expecting runway 22 right for the departure. And we've got 12,000 feet, and look at that, it's right there, guys. So shouldn't be too bad of a taxi. Alright, so let's go to our overhead panel here. Let's set our altitude, as they told us, to 4,000 for the initial climb out. There we go. We'll set speed. Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let me set my B-rev speeds now that we have everything. Take off. There we go. And according to this, for our takeoff weight, we are expecting 503,000 pounds. So let's set that right now, and it's gonna wipe out my V speeds. 0.6. Yep, I knew that's gonna happen, no biggie. Alright, once again guys, resetting the graphics. Alright, so I think everything is set up. Let's go ahead and get our rotating beacon on. Let everybody know we are getting ready for departure. Prepare for pushback and departure. So we've got the pushback tug there standing by. Before that, let's go ahead and call up our checklists. So pre-flight, so oxygen has been tested, flight instruments are set. Fuel control switches are in the cutoff, verified, parking brake is set. Before start, flight deck door closed and locked. So, I believe there is a lock here. Maybe not. Yeah, deactivated, okay. And again, this lovely, lovely mess happening here with the camera. Alright, so MCP V2 speed of 161. So we're gonna set 161 plus 5. 166. I think I can do math right. Heading and track. Alright, so we got radar vectors to Robbinsville, expecting altitude of 4,000 feet. Then we'll climb up to flight level 380. Takeoff speeds V1, rotate V2. Confirmed. CDU pre-flight complete. Trim units are at 0. Nothing right now that I've inputted. And of course it's also talking about aileron and rudder trim. Go to normal before taxi, so we'll leave it there once we're ready to taxi. And I don't know why GSX is not talking to me, but let's see what's going on. Oh, this is terrible. So we're gonna go ahead and take that tail right. One more time so we can get a smooth engine startup. We'll go ahead and release parking brakes. And we should be starting the pushback here shortly. There it goes. Let's take a look out here. We'll set all of our electric and hydraulic to auto. We're gonna set our fuel pumps on. Nothing in the center. Once I initiate my starter, all the bleed air will take care of itself. So let's go ahead and start engine 1. You can hear that engine spooling up. God, this is gonna drive me nuts today. Let's get some fuel introduced in there. Again, let me verify this. There we go. Engine 1's coming alive. Oh wow, I forgot to call ground for push to start. They're gonna yell at me. And Kennedy ground, American 781 Heavy requesting push and start.
American 781 Heavy, Kennedy ground, pushback approved. Face north.
Pushback approved, we'll face north, American 781 Heavy. Alright, we've got a good engine 1. Let's go ahead and smoothly look up. Let's start engine 2. And I'm going to try to slowly bring the camera down because I know sometimes that affects the stuttering. Looks like the pushback is ending. We've got good N2 indicator there. Let's go ahead and get our fuel introduced. Yep, we're standing still, stepping on the brakes. Parking brake is on. Excellent. With GE90s coming in nicely. Alright, so I'm going to go up to the GSX menu here, confirm good engine start, and typically you'd hear them on the ground to cockpit communication, but for some reason it's not coming through tonight. Okay, so both engines are running. Let's go ahead and call back our checklist, which is our before taxi. So anti-ice, let's take a look upstairs here. We're going to set our window height to begin with. Our anti-ice, we're going to leave it auto for wings and the left and right engines. Recall, we're going to press the recall button and we're going to check for any annunciations or messages. Nothing to be concerned with. Checked. Auto brake. Going to rejected takeoff. Flight controls. Let's go ahead and pull up our flight controls page. Let's go ahead. Full left aileron. Full right. You can see spoilers. Alright. Full back or aft on the elevator. Full forward. Rudder right. Left rudder. And let's deploy those speed brakes. As indicated, all deployed. Let's go ahead and set flaps 5 for departure. Let's continue with that checklist. Ground equipment is clear. I just saw them taxi out there. There we go. Flaps 5 before takeoff. Flaps are traveling. Perfect. And now we're ready to taxi, so we are going to leave it on the after takeoff checklist. So there's the marshaller giving us the sign. Let me flash him with the landing or the taxi light. And let me give JFK ground a call to taxi to 22 right for departure. Kennedy ground, American 781 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 22 right for departure.
American 781 Heavy, runway 22 right, taxi via Alpha 1, Victor Alpha Foxtrot.
Taxi to 22 right via Alpha 1, Victor Alpha Foxtrot, American 781 Heavy. Alright. Let's come off the parking brake. Give her a little power here. And we're going to be taxiing out to Alpha 1. We'll be taking Alpha. Oh, interesting. Might be doing a departure there shorter than I thought. Yeah, Alpha 1, Victor Alpha Foxtrot. Looks like we got some heavy traffic there in front of us. Asiana Cargo 74400. And this AI traffic, guys, is by the fly-by-wire installer, which is the famous FSLTL, I believe, injector. Free to use, amazing, highly recommended. But there's Alpha 1. We're going to take Victor. Huh. Well, let's see if we can figure this out. I guess we'll follow that heavy 747-400 on our way to the departure. While we're doing this, let's get our flight directors on. And let's take some nice, slow, wide turns here with this heavy. Remember, guys, she is a big bird. Want to kind of open up on your turns. And if you think you're overshooting, you're doing it correctly. I believe that is the cabin ready call. Yep, we are good. Love the rattling noises from Pmdg as we're taxiing this heavy airframe. Let's go ahead and kill that APU. We no longer need it. Generators are on. Everything is running as expected. And I love the FSLTL traffic. Look at that. We've got Cayman Airways, JetBlue with various liveries with the City of New York Fire Department colors. Again, guys, that is by the fly-by-wire installer, which includes the Airbus 320neo. That is their most recognized product. They've got the A380 in works right now as well, which you guys might have seen from the recent Flight Sim Expo news and their reveal videos. And guys, I can't recommend the FSLTL traffic injector enough. It is amazing. Really brings airports like JFK and any other airport to life. So check it out, guys, if you haven't already. And we're looking for Foxtrot. Should be coming up here. Let's see. We are on Alpha. I don't see Foxtrot. I'm assuming might be here to cross, but... Oh yeah, we are taking 22 right here at like a intersection departure. Alright, you know what? Challenge accepted, guys. Let's do it. Again, let's go to the graphics. We're almost taking off, guys. I promise this is going to go away. Once we're airborne, we'll set some cool wing shots and stuff like that so you guys can see the scenery. Looks like Asiana is taking 22 right for departure as well. You know what? I'm going to deviate from that taxi instruction. I want to maximize the amount of runway I've got available. So I'm going to make a left here onto Delta Bravo and then Bravo, and we'll take 22 right where Asiana took it. On the brakes a little bit here, and again overshoot that taxi line, start hitting that tiller, hit that nose wheel. Remember, we're flying on a sausage and a half here of an airframe, so you got a lot of airframe to move around here as you're taxiing. Surprised ground hasn't yelled at me yet for taking the wrong taxiway. Let's go ahead and check our TCAS. We're going to set it to above. And we're going to get on the brakes here. We're going to hold short of 2-2 right. And I'm going to give Tower a call. She never handed me over, but it's all good. We're going to go to 123.9er. Let's try that. Actually, let me go on ground, see if she's ready to hand me off. And ground, American 781 heavy, holding short of 2-2 right.
American 781 heavy. I didn't get that.
American 781 heavy, holding short of runway 22 right, ready for departure.
American 781 heavy. I didn't get that.
Alright, we're gonna just talk to Tower ourselves. Beyond ATC is not a perfect product by any means just yet, but it does the trick. Kennedy Tower, good afternoon. American 781 heavy, holding short of 22 right, ready for departure.
American 781 heavy, Kennedy Tower, wind 205 at 10, fly heading 220, runway 22 right, cleared for takeoff.
Copy, the winds will fly heading 220, cleared for takeoff, runway 22 right, American 781 heavy. Alright, we've got our takeoff clearance. Landing lights coming on, runway turn off. Stroke. We're going to get maximum visibility here. Make sure we're squawking mode Charlie. Yep, we're at TARA, which is Traffic Advisory, Resolution Advisory. We are checking the approach end. Departure end looks good. Looks like we got some heavy traffic doing their own thing. Just flying low over the airfield. Very realistic, of course. Let's line her up, guys. And before I get started on the roll, I need to confirm my trim, my pitch trim setting. I have not set that. You can see they're a little bit premature on the turn. No big. Okay, so for the takeoff trim, it looks like it's 4.25 units of trim. There we go. Alright guys, nothing left to do. Let's get on the power. We're going to let those GE90s spool up.
Airspeed's alive.
And we're going to engage Toga by clicking on the screw here on the MCP. Auto throttle is on.
80 knots.
Okay, approaching V1.
V1.
Rotating.
Rotate. V2. Positive rate of climb.
Alright, good climb out. Gear up. And we're turning to heading 220. Some gnarly weather out here in JFK.
American 781 heavy, contact New York departure.
Switching to departure, American 781 heavy. New York departure, American 781 heavy, climbing to the 2,300, 4,000. Flaps coming up.
American 781 heavy, New York departure. Good day, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 190.
Climb and maintain flight level 190, American 781 heavy.
American 781 heavy, turn right heading 235.
Turn right heading 235, American 781 heavy.
American 781 heavy, turn right heading 245.
Turn right heading 245, American 781 Heavy. We're just going to hand fly for now, just to have some fun. Right through the weather. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. And we're relatively light for this aircraft's typical flight, so you can see this thing is climbing with no problem. Climbing at 3,500 feet a minute. Okay, our after takeoff checklist is complete. We could turn off the nose landing light, of course. And let's go ahead and engage our autopilot. Oh, forgot to reset the heading. There we go. 245. Airspeed's kind of decreasing, so let's go ahead and engage VNAV. There we go. It's going to manage the airspeed. Forgot to do that. Yep. Just organized chaos here. We've got a gnarly headwind, and look at that. Nose is dropping. These passengers are in for one heck of a ride. Let's set up a healthy climb rate there. As you can see, guys, chaos, just absolute chaos. We'll turn off all those lights, keep the beacon, nav and strobe on. And look at that, we're heading direct to Robbinsville.
American 781 Heavy, clear direct Robbinsville VOR, resume on navigation.
Clear direct Robinson's VOR, resume on navigation, American 781 Heavy. So we'll go ahead and set Robbinsville as our next waypoint. Engage LNAV, VNAV. We're gonna let the FMC do all the work now. So let's go ahead and get some exterior shots here. Get some window shots, how about that? Climbing through the weather there, guys. Awesome views. So let me see if I can get a better view of the engine here. So pay attention, look at that GE90 just wiggling about. These are massive engine, guys. These engines have the same diameter, or I should say circumference, as a 737 airframe. So, or the fuselage, I should say. So just keep that in mind. So we're looking at the equivalent there on an engine of the aircraft that Southwest flies predominantly, United, American, Delta. Worldwide, you guys know the 737. You guys probably flown on it millions of times, so just keep that in mind. That inlet right there is the same diameter as a 737. Insane. Looking out here as we climb through the weather.
American 781 Heavy, contact New York Center 189er 75.
189er 75. Whoa. Disregard that.
Negative, New York Center on 189er 75.
Contact New York Center 189er 75, American 781 Heavy. Take care.
New York Center, American 781 Heavy, climbing through flight level 180 for 190.
American 781 Heavy, New York Center, climb and maintain flight level 380.
Climb and maintain flight level 380 for American 781 Heavy. There we go, resetting the MCP up to flight level 380, which is our final cruising altitude. Oh, and forgot to start my chrono, which I always forget on the takeoff roll, so we'll start it a little late. So you guys saw that hiccup I had there. He was talking about the departure or the center frequency on 118.9 or 75. And because I am here in the middle of 1 in the morning in Florida, I was thinking of 189, and I was like, that is way outside of the frequency range. But again, thankfully, Beyond ATC has the automated response, which got me out of trouble quickly. So here we're referencing the Kennedy 5 departure. You can see the little airplane symbol there. We're heading direct to Robbinsville VOR while we continue the route down to Atlanta. This thing is a beast, guys. This thing climbs with no problem. Even with a gnarly headwind right now, we've got some 20-knot headwinds coming out of the west-southwest. So we are doing pretty good. Can't complain.
American 781 Heavy. Contact Washington Center 124.775. Have a good day.
Switching to Washington Center on 124.775 for American 781 Heavy. Have a good one. Washington Center, American 781 Heavy, crossing Robbinsville VOR, climbing to flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, roger.
Let's take a look outside. Just enjoying the views here of the mighty 777-300ER. And this livery pack can be found on flightsim.to for free. And as you can see, it includes some mismatched engine cowling parts there. This gives it a little bit more of a realistic touch. That's kind of what you see in real world. Not all aircraft have the same, panels on all the time. You can see the radome over there has a slightly different gray color to it, and I love it. Just gives it some diversity. About to cross 30,000 feet, and as you can see, our top of climb is shortly thereafter copes, so we are right on track. So we're going to be fighting headwinds all the way down to Atlanta, but it's all good. GE90s will take care of us. Got some contrails up here right underneath us. This is part of the sim effects from Parallel 42. It enhances your overall effects on the environment when you're flying around. And as you guys may know, they are currently in the works about to release a effects package for this aircraft right here, Pmdg 777. So they haven't been released yet. I'm sure some people have had some early access or testing. So hopefully they release it soon, because we've got it here at the Flight Sim channel for the Phoenix A320, the fly-by-wire, and all other Airbuses, and it is pretty awesome, guys. It really adds some more details to it. Not a bad office view if you ask me, guys. This is pretty awesome. I don't think I've ever been inside a 777 cabin from what I remember. Closest I've been to of an aircraft this size has been a 747-400 and 800 and 767-300, as well as the 400ER, and those cockpits are pretty roomy.
American 781 Heavy, contact Washington Center 1 tree 2.525.
Switching to Washington Center on 1 tree 2.525, American 781 Heavy. See ya. Washington Center, good evening or afternoon. American 781 Heavy crossing flight level 340 for 380.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, roger.
But as I was saying, the cockpit, of course, is very, very spacious. Let me get some height here. There we go. Look at this. We're sitting back here on one of the jump seats. Look at this real estate. Pretty much an apartment up front here. All for the pilot, or the captain, and the first officer.
American 781 Heavy, contact New York Center 124.625. Take care.
Switching to New York Center on 124.65 for American 781 Heavy.
Negative, New York Center on 124.625.
124.625 American 781 Heavy. New York Center, American 781 Heavy climbing through flight level 360 for 380.
American 781 Heavy, New York Center, roger.
Let's hop on over to the FO seat. See what the views are like here. And just to show you the little neat features that Pmdg includes. For those of you like me who like to click pens on and off or up and down, you can do this all flight long. If you're sharing the cockpit with somebody else, good luck to them. This will get annoying pretty quick. Alright, we got the 1,000 feet to go horn there, letting us know we are approaching our altitude of 380 or 38,000 feet.
American 781 Heavy, contact New York Center 1 tree 5.45.
Going to center on 1 tree 5.45, American 781 Heavy. New York Center, American 781 Heavy, level off, flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, New York Center, roger.
Yep, you can see we have a pretty much a quartering headwind here from 260 degrees, 51 knots, so it is holding us back, but we're still cruising at a ground speed of 433 knots. Now, the last time I flew this bird from Orlando to Atlanta, I believe, I was doing 510 knots across the ground. That was, of course, with a slight tailwind of about 20 knots. So what we can do is we can burn some gas, because I did load up some extra gas on the bird to just in case, obviously, for our minimums and all that for our alternate. And I can probably increase our cruise performance here by a little bit, but I'm going to keep it like this for now. Let's take some looks outside here. And I'm switching back to the cockpit here. Let's go ahead and turn off our seatbelt signs. Sorry for the lag there. Let our passengers know that they are free to walk about the cabin. Hopefully our stewardess are starting the in-flight meal service for those of them that can pay for the service or are included if you're in the business class. And speaking of, let's go take a look back there. Let's turn around here. Let's open the cockpit door. Thank you. You can see the cabins or the curtains are drawn. Check it out. We are in the business end, or the business front of the aircraft, I should say. Let's take a seat here, shall we? You know what? I think I might just leave the camera here and just let the autopilot do its thing. As far as I know, none of these buttons here are interactive, at least not yet. I don't really see the point, honestly, right? Because I don't think any of us are going to be doing a flight sitting here all flight long, especially doing a long haul flight. Those of you watching, you guys want to see the action, you want to see the fun stuff up in the cockpit, and of course the occasional outside views. So take a look, guys. Beautiful work by Pmdg. Got your plugs here to charge your personal devices, a USB. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go back out to the economy class and all that. Let's take a walk back there, see how it looks. And I'll say their modeling on the interior for this airplane is way better than the 737 family. I think one of the best modeled aircraft interiors so far is the Phoenix A320. Just a lot of detail. But Pmdg did really good with this airplane. Look at the galley here. This must be the forward to mid galley. This looks like another business class here. I forget what the seating organizations or the structure is, but now we are, I guess this is premium economy, judging by the seats. Let's take a look at economy here. Yep, this is definitely economy. And as you can hear, we are now aft of the engines, or parallel or aft. Listen to the noise. You can hear the noise changing. Let's get a good window seat here and take a look outside.
American 781 Heavy, contact New York Center 1 tree 2.2.
I'm going to set my auto respond and auto tune.
Contact New York Center 132.2. American 781 Heavy. Take care.
We're back here taking a look.
New York Center, American 781 Heavy. Flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, New York Center, roger.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are on a window seat. Let's get forward a little bit here. Take a look at that majestic wing. And you can see there on the trailing edge, just before the aileron, you can see that spike looking thing. That is the fuel dump nozzle. So just in case we had a long haul flight and the aircraft was fully loaded with fuel, we needed to turn back around and land. Of course, aircraft have a maximum landing weight. You can't simply land with the weight you took off, especially on those long haul flights. So that's an option that a lot of the heavier aircraft have for that particular reason, so they can safely jettison the weight by dumping fuel, hopefully not contaminating the environment. And usually from what I've seen, aircraft are told to hold over a particular area so they can safely dump the fuel and then get vectored back into the nearest airfield or the point of departure. So just a little detail there. But no complaints from me for Pmdg. Great work back here with the cabin. And I believe certain livery packages you can get from third-party developers for free, like Flight SimTO, which is the #1 spot, I believe, for freeware stuff. You have custom interiors, so they will be tailored to the airline. As you can see, our safety pamphlets have the American Airlines logo. You can see as well the stewardess. Whoever is showing on the main panel will change depending on what airline you're flying. So, cool details. I wonder if this will let me open the door here. Of course, it would not be advisable to do this mid-flight, but I think Pmdg knew ahead of time that a bozo like me would eventually try to do that. So thank you, Pmdg, for keeping our virtual passengers safe. And again, I know there's no real use to modeling the interior cabins too much. But I wonder if one day a developer will allow us to open up the overhead bins and see luggage and stuff like that, just for that extra touch of realism. Let's take a look back here. Enjoying the view there of that beautiful GE90. And you can kind of see too now at a cruise level and a cruise setting for the engines, you don't have that wobbling going on as much. Oh, there we go. There it goes. I spoke too soon. And I've never flown on a 777 before, but I have seen plenty of footage, and this is pretty accurate. You get to see that engine just shaking about. Again, keep in mind the size of that engine. Think of it as a 737 fuselage just sitting right there underneath that wing. Well, let's go ahead and work our way back up to the cockpit.
American 781 Heavy, contact Washington Center 134.15. See you.
Contact Washington Center 134.15, American 781 Heavy. Washington Center, American 781 Heavy, flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, roger.
Here we go, coming back to the business end, the real business end of the 777. Step back into this beautiful apartment that we call the flight deck. Let's go ahead and shut that door. There we go. Check this out. You can throw some stuff in there, paperwork, whatever you may need. Got our luggage there. Let's take a closer look at the cockpit here. So this is a feature that I still have not really messed around with, but you can go here and, for example, let's go to the cabin interior. Now there is a setting here for the lighting of the cabin. Just can't remember how to get to it right now. So not too familiar yet with what this particular NCDU does or how to get it to work, and maybe the features are not implemented yet, but I have to definitely dive in and learn more about the features of that. You can see here we've got our digital checklist, which of course is on a touch screen here with the mouse, so wherever you hover the mouse, that's wherever you will click. But right now we don't need to really use a checklist, so we can monitor our fuel, for example. You get a better seat here. Let's go back to the default view. And you see we've got about 19,000 pounds on the left main, 19,000 on the right, nothing in the center. Plenty of fuel for this trip. Let's check our hydraulic. You can see your whole hydraulic systems there. You check your comm. And I believe, from what I've seen here before, if you've got Hoppe's ACAR system, you can actually request your flight plan clearance here, your IFR clearance through here, especially for VATSIM and stuff like that, and you can get all your weather information, your ATIS and all that through here. Unfortunately, I haven't messed around with it too much, and I don't have Hoppe's ACARs, so I can't speak much about that besides what I've seen. Now we've got a duplicate nav display here from what we have on our MFD here. Let's check our air conditioning system here, our air. You can see we've got the temperature set at 24 degrees Celsius, and you can leave it auto or you can always manipulate it up top. Let's take a look where on the overhead panel we can find that. Right here, flight deck temperature and cabin temperature. So let's make it a slight bit cooler. We'll leave the flight deck temperature on auto. And of course, however you adjust that, you will see a change throughout the cabin. As you can see, I decreased the temperature slightly to 23 degrees Celsius, and you can see it took effect immediately. And as you can see, we are being supplied bleed air from our engines, which are then feeding the packs, if I understand that correctly. I could be really wrong with that, so feel free to correct me on that on the comments. Let's check our flight controls. You see everything is normal. No crazy indications.
781 Heavy, contact Washington Center 120.65.
Got your electric.
Contact Washington Center 120.65. American 781
And
Heavy.
look at the radios,
Have a good
guys.
one.
It's going to automatically tune it. There we go.
Washington Center, American 781 Heavy, flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, roger.
I'm just going through all the pages here, just checking everything. This is the status page here. You check your gear. You can see your PSI on your tires. And I believe it'll also show you your temperature once they are deployed and once you're on the ground. Right now we'll leave it on the fuel page just to monitor the fuel flow and all that. But here we are, guys. We are cruising, tracking along on our way to Atlanta. If you are just joining us on the live, this is a flight from New York Kennedy, from JFK International down to Atlanta. So right now, let's take a look at our progress. Let's go to the FOFMC here. Go to Index. Go to Performance. Let's see if we can find, go to VNAV. Here we go. So our distance to top of descent is showing 311 nautical miles at a time approximately of 21:49 Zulu. It is currently 21:11, so 9:11 Zulu. We still got some time to get there to our top of descent. And our estimated time of arrival at Atlanta would be 22:17 Zulu, with approximately 23,000 pounds of fuel left. So you can monitor this and keep an eye out on your performance as you are headed down to your arrival. Here you can set your descent forecast, which you can load. Let me see if I have it connected. Be requested. There we go. So we have that into our FMC now. Let's go back, FMC. Let's go to, let's take a look. Go to progress. We'll leave it there. And check it out. So this is the progress page, the second page of it, showing us a headwind of 46 knots, wind direction and speed, and a relative crosswind right now from the right at 11 knots. And we can confirm that by looking at our navigation display. And on the top left corner, you see your ground speed, your true airspeed, the wind direction, and speed. Right now, we've used a total of about 16,000 pounds of fuel. Let's go to the next page. This is our required navigation performance progress page. Right now we're cruising, so I am happy with that. So we'll leave it here for the pilot monitoring. We'll keep the legs up for the pilot flying. In this case, we'll be in the captain's seat. And for now, guys, I am going to mute the microphone for a bit. I'm going to let you guys enjoy some views from the outside and maybe leave it on a wing view here for a little bit. And I'll be joining you guys here shortly. So just enjoy the views, guys.
American 781 Heavy, contact Washington Center 133.2. Have a good day.
Contact Washington Center 133.2. American 781 Heavy, see you. Washington Center, American 781 Heavy, flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, roger. American 781 Heavy, contact Washington Center 121.675. Have a good one.
Contact Washington Center 121.675. American 781 Heavy. Washington Center, American 781 Heavy, flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, roger. American 781 Heavy, contact Washington Center 127.925. Have a good day.
Contact Washington Center 127.925. American 781 Heavy. Have a good one. Washington Center, American 781 Heavy. Flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, roger.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're here back in the flight deck, just checking our progress. So we're still on track. You can see our top of descent is still somewhere in this medley of waypoints on our way to Atlanta. So for those of you tuning in, thank you for watching. If you just got online watching us now, welcome on in. This is a flight American 781 Heavy.
American 781 Heavy, contact
Stand
Washington Center 134.4. Have a good day.
Contact Washington Center 134.4. American 781 Heavy. Washington Center, American 781 Heavy, flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, roger.
So, as I was saying, we are doing this flight, relatively short hop for the 777-300ER from JFK down to Atlanta. And we are using Beyond ATC, which is the ATC traffic you hear in the background. I've got it on auto tune and auto respond right now, just so that I can focus on panning around, walking around the airplane, setting up the cameras, so you guys can enjoy the views and I don't have to keep switching back to the cockpit to switch frequencies. So right now we are showing to our top of descent. We won't be getting there till approximately 19 minutes from now, or 189 nautical miles. So here's what we'll do. We're going to start messing around with the performance of the airplane. We're going to increase our cruise speed just a tad bit. So let's go ahead and find our cruise, which I believe we were just at. So we can just change the Mach speed right there. So we're at 829. Let's see where Mach 0.84 puts us at. Will it even let me? Nope. So let's go to our index. So let's go position report. Go to performance. Let's go to cruise. So we can always switch to a manual speed setting here and increase it. I'm just trying to figure this out as I do this with you guys. Let's see. See if I can change the speed setting here. There we go. We're going to execute that. I'm going to give it a little bump here in speed. You can see the engines are increasing and one there. And we're picking up speed to get to indicated Mach 0.84. Let's make it 8.5. How about that? There are the throttles, increasing speed. And I'm doing this just to offset those headwinds that we are fighting right now. Again, we're going to burn some more gas, obviously. But we've got plenty of fuel on board. We should have no problem making it down to Atlanta with plenty of spare fuel, just in case we have to go around or a missed approach.
American 781 Heavy, Washington Center, expect Aussie 1, runway 28.
Aussie 1, runway 28, American 781 Heavy.
And that checks out. That's exactly what we loaded into our legs here. The Aussie 1 arrival for runway 28. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at that star now. So as you can see, this approach plate is pretty populated here. Got a lot of figures and stuff like that. So you guys won't be able to see my mouse cursor now, But that gray circle with the white lines there, that is the airfield, in this case Atlanta. So what you're seeing is the standard terminal arrival, right, or the STAR, which is what IFR traffic uses to be sequenced in. So we know our transition will be Flask, which is that first waypoint up here on the top right, and we're going to continue that trajectory descending until we get to Aussie. And as you can see, Aussie, if we are landing east, we can expect to cross at 14,000. And you see the 14,000 is surrounded on top and bottom with two blue lines, right? One on top, one on bottom. That means we are expected to cross at 14,000. If you saw the line on top of the 14,000, that would indicate below 14,000, and the line underneath it above 14,000. In this instance, we are landing west, right? We're expecting 28, so we can expect to cross Aussie at 250 knots at 12,000 feet. From Aussie, we will continue to Harry, then Calla at 9,000, Posey above 8,000, and from there we will go to Bluff, or in this instance we know that Perman, P-R-M-A-N, is our initial approach fix for the ILS into runway 28. So we'll just keep an eye out for what ATC wants us to do, but I'm just taking a look at our approach plate here, or I should say the star plate. Let's bring up our approach plate. And there's Perman, the initial approach fix, IAF. And from there, we should be establishing ourselves on the localizer to runway 28. Localizer frequency displayed right there, 111.75, with the identifier India Papa Kilo uniform on a final approach course of 275 degrees. So let's go ahead and review our missed approach procedure. So in the event of a missed approach, we will climb to 1,500 feet, then a climbing left turn to 3,000 feet on heading 216 degrees.
Heavy. Contact
Stand by.
Atlanta Center 125.15.
Contact Atlanta Center 125.15, American 781 Heavy. Take care. Atlanta Center, American 781 Heavy. Flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Atlanta Center, roger.
So, as I was saying, climbing left turn to 3,000 feet on heading 216, and then we will go via the LGC, whichever VOR that is, VOR radial 062 to Pavo, and we'll get to that radar fix and hold. And then taking a look here at our vertical profile here. So we should be crossing Perman at 4,000. Once we get to Jubba, we'll intercept that glide slope, wherein we will begin tracking a standard 3-degree glide slope according to our approach plate here, down till we get to the runway. And right now I believe this airplane likes to approach somewhere between 120 to 140. So we can expect a descent in terms of vertical speed of about 637 to 743 feet a minute. And that will make sure that we maintain a proper glide slope down to the runway. And just to the right there, you'll see the type of lighting that the airport has for that runway. Next to it on the right, it shows Poppy, which is the precision approach path indicator. Those are the lights you see, the 2 red, 2 white, which is what we want to see. And then you have your missed approach procedure kind of summarized in a visual context. So climb 1,500 feet, left turn 3,000 feet on heading 216, and then via the radial 062 from the LGC VOR, we're going to get to Pavo and hold there until we are instructed to initiate an approach again. Now I won't cover too much down here on this segment on the RVR. To be honest, just to be clear, I am a private pilot. I am not instrument rated. And as much as I can read these plates pretty decently, I have no official training with RVR. I know it stands for runway visual, yeah, look at me, I'm over here talking without nonsense. But just to clarify again, guys, I am not instrument rated in the real world. I am only familiar with just the bare basics of reading these plates and being able to understand what I'm going to be doing in terms of the approach. So we'll call that good on our approach briefing for now. Let's check the airport. I need to go ahead and grab the airport information for Atlanta. So we're going to load it up here. There we go. Now we have it saved and pinned. And by the way, RVR, runway visual range. There we go. Just came to me, so. So there is runway 28. We've got 9,000 feet of runway. Should be plenty to land on there with this heavy bird. We're not going to have too much weight by the time we get there. And then we can expect a nice lengthy taxi route to any of the gates there. But for now, we're going to go ahead and keep our star open on the EFB. We're going to take a look back at the navigation display here. Let's see where we're at. So it looks like we're still expecting to get to our top of descent at 2151 Zulu. Time now is 2140 Zulu. So still about 11 minutes to go, or 112 nautical miles to get to our top of descent. Pretty easy flight for the 777 again. You guys can see and take a guess from the size of this aircraft. These aircraft are used for the long-haul flights. However, with that being said, my time working at Orlando International, I did see American fly the 777-300ER from Miami to Orlando during the heavy seasons, especially during the summer. Unfortunately, they couldn't really fill up too much, or they were filling up 737s and the 757s at the time. So every now and then you would see the 777 step up to the plate and carry 300 plus passengers from Miami to Orlando just to alleviate with the flow of passengers. So although it is not too common, from my understanding, to see these heavy aircraft doing these short legs, it is possible and it is very realistic and it can happen. So I guess a 2.5 hour flight from JFK to Atlanta isn't too bad. One of these days I'll tackle on a 8-9 hour flight. I'll leave the computer running overnight or something and come back in the morning. But for now, this is pretty much my sweet spot for most flights that I do. So just to give you guys a heads up, so once we are near the top of the descent point, what I will do is switch back over to manual controls on the radios for Beyond ATC. I will make a call to whomever we are on a frequency which I believe right now is Atlanta Center, and I will let them know that we are ready to descend, where we can expect a clearance to descend via the Aussie 1 arrival, and we will commence. So again, time now 21:46 Zulu. We are expecting to begin our descent at around 21:52 Zulu, or 6 minutes give or take from now. These headwinds have not helped us at all. We've got a ground speed of 454 knots though, so I can't complain. And right now I'm going to take a peek at our ATIS for Atlanta, which is on 119.65. Let's go ahead and get that squared up.
Seven, 2.18, altimeter 3015. Landing runway 26 right, 27 left, 28. Departing runway 26 left, 27 right. Advise on initial contact, you have information Tango. Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta Airport information Tango. 21010. Wind 285 at 5, visibility 10. Few clouds with 10,000. Temperature 27, 2.18, altimeter 3015, landing runway 26 right, 27 left, 28, departing runway 26 left, 27 right, advise on initial contact.
So there we go, guys. I just picked up our ATIS, which is information Tango for Atlanta. So winds are 285 at 5 knots, visibility 10 miles. Few clouds at 10,000 feet, which tells us that we're going to be expecting a visual approach into runway 28, altimeter 3015, and again they are landing on runways 26 and 28. I believe it was 26 left and right, I can't remember, but we've got Tango, so we'll let the controllers know once we are ready for descent that we do have information Tango, and we'll take it from there. And while I'm here back in the cockpit seat, let me go ahead and switch that frequency over. Or not the frequency, but switch beyond ATC from auto tune and auto respond. And as we get near our descent, I'm going to also go ahead and increase, or not increase, I'm just going to change the time of day. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a evening, getting close to sunset time, so that by the time we touch down in Atlanta, we have great looking scenery. And as we get closer to our top of descent, I'm going to switch TCAS to below. We are still on TARA. Not sure if the weather radar here is simulated on this aircraft or not. Let's check it out. Give it a slight tilt down. Haven't studied this too much either, the weather system or the radar system here of the 777. I'm gonna leave it on auto right now. So we've got terrain following radar there. But I'm gonna leave it as is. Just wanted to see. I'm just messing around with the airplane before we get to our top of descent. Okay, so looks like we'll be arriving at Dunn 2150. And our top of descent is expected 2 minutes after that. So once we are at Dunn, I will give center a call, let them know we are ready to initiate our descent. Let's go ahead and pull up our checklist. And here is our descent checklist. So I'm going to go ahead and start flowing through it. So recall, let's check it. We're going to press recall. No alerts, nothing's being told. Notes, checked. I don't have any notes. I don't know if there's any specific button or setting for that, but we're gonna click that. Auto brake. We're gonna go with auto brake 1 today. We are pretty light. Yeah, let's go auto brakes 2. Landing.
781 Heavy,
Standby.
contact Atlanta Center, 1 tree, 2.625.
Switching to center on 132.625, American 781 Heavy. Atlanta Center, good afternoon, American 781 Heavy with you, flight level 380.
American 781 Heavy, Atlanta Center, roger.
Let's go ahead and get our VREF speeds here. So we are going to be looking at a flap setting of 30 degrees and a VREF speed or final approach speed of 139 knots. So we have that. And let's confer with our approach plate for our minimums. Alright, so looks like our minimums are 1,198 feet or 200 in the radar altimeter, so 1198. We've got our VREF and our minimums. And before I do that, let's go ahead and set our minimums here. We'll set it to the radar radio altimeter. Let's go 200. Yeah, let's go barrel. Make it more fun. There we go. So we've got our minimums programmed in. And keep in mind that is mean sea level, depending on what we set our altimeter to. And the approach briefing was completed earlier, so I'll go ahead and complete that checklist. The next checklist will be the approach checklist, and it just wants us to set our altimeters, which we will wait till we begin descending. And that altimeter setting was 3015. So about 15 miles or nautical miles to our top of descent. The FMC telling me to reset the MCP altitude. I will in just a second. Atlanta Center, American 781 Heavy, ready to descend.
American 781 Heavy, descend via Aussie. 1 arrival, Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta, I Airport landing runway 28, altimeter tree 015.
Okay, we'll descend via the Aussie 1 arrival. Expecting runway 28 at Atlanta, altimeter 3015 for American 781 Heavy. So, let's look back at our arrival here. So we should be crossing Aussie at 14,000. Or, nope, wait, that was landing east. Landing west at 12,000. So we're going to go ahead and set our altitude here on the mode control panel to 12,000. We're going to press the altitude switch there, or the button. FMC telling us drag is required. No problem. We'll go ahead and introduce a little drag. Just let's get the speed brakes out a little bit. And we have begun our descent. Let's go ahead and get our seatbelt signs on. No electronics back on. Yep, speed brakes are extended. That's fine. That's what we want. We're slowing down now. Let's go ahead and retract them. There we go. So you can see the diamond coming back into place. There goes the nose following along. Get the speed brakes back up before we overspeed the airplane here. And you see that pink diamond, or the magenta diamond. We've got a required navigation performance of 400 and our actual navigation performance at 161. Keep the speed brakes. Aircraft tends to get a little slippery here as we start to descend. Hear that caution out.
American 781 Heavy, contact Atlanta Center 1 tree 4.8.
Going to center 1 tree 4.8 American 781 Heavy. Atlanta Center, good afternoon. American 781 Heavy with you. Descending through flight level 350, Aussie 1 arrival.
American 781 Heavy, Atlanta Center, roger.
We'll retract those speed brakes now. And let's go ahead and change the time of day. Let's fast forward it a little bit. There we go. Get some nice colors. Bring it back a little bit more. 8 o'clock p.m. Sun's still out, pretty high up. By the time we get lower, we should have some nice colors. Just hopping back into the pilot seat here, just keeping an eye on everything. We're still descending as planned on our VNAV. And let's take a look at our legs here so we know that we have a speed restriction and altitude restriction at Aussie. 256, 12,092. So let's change that. 250, 12,000. There we go. We're telling the FMC that is our restriction for that particular waypoint, as indicated here on our approach or our arrival. Oh, we've got some AI traffic above us there, continuing their cruise wherever they're headed. Good weather. Said we are expecting good conditions at Atlanta. From the ATIS that we got earlier, we had visibility of 10 miles. Clouds were reported at 10,000. Winds are coming straight out of the west, down runway 28. Winds 285 at 5 knots, and we are waiting till we transition through flight level 180 to reset our altimeters to 3015. Let's tune ATIS one more time just to make sure information hasn't been updated.
Two 7 right. Advise on initial contact. You have information Tango.
Okay.
Hartsfield.
So information Tango is still valid. We'll keep this engine view here saved. We are on our way to Atlanta on the Aussie 1 arrival. Next waypoint, G-Bake. And for some reason the little airplane symbol is not showing on the map here. Sometimes it takes a minute for it to upload or update, and we'll see it. No biggie. So from Bake we'll go to Wing and then straight to Aussie. And then from Aussie continue our way down to set up ourselves for the approach to runway 28. Let's go to the status page. I don't see anything jumping up at me right now. Don't know why that blue status or stat showed up underneath the recall area here. bring up our checklist again. Sun is making its way down over towards the west side. Again, trying to time this beautifully so we can get some nice colors on our approach to Atlanta. And at some point here, we can expect ATC to hand us off to approach. For now, we continue. Let's get those speed brakes up just a bit. Don't know why my auto throttle is just suddenly... There we go. Let's reduce power. Don't know what that was about. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that, but I deployed my speed brakes to do some more drag, and my throttles just went full power for some reason. So that's curious. Let's cycle our auto throttle. There we go. We're back to idle, which is what we want to decrease speed. Okay, below 18,000 feet, coming off standard. Let's reset altimeters to 3015. Altimeter set to 3015. Now, all that's left is our landing checklist, which we will go through as we get ready for the landing. And as you can see, they will automatically turn green as we set the aircraft up. So once the speed brakes are armed, landing gear is down and flaps are at 30, the landing checklist will be
American 781 Heavy, contact Atlanta Center 127.5.
127.5 American 781 Heavy. Atlanta Center, American 781 Heavy, descending through 16,000 on the Aussie 1 arrival with Tango.
American 781 Heavy, Atlanta Center, roger.
Alright, so we are 12 nautical miles from Aussie, still a little fast. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage speed here, manually take over, set 250. And let's continue the descent down. Set this down. Perman should be at 4,000. Well, looks like we'll be crossing Aussie a little bit higher than planned. Hopefully ATC does not yell at us, but if they do, oh well, it's our sim. And we're still learning the Pmdg's systems, the 777 I should say. Not 100% comfortable with it like I am on the 737, but we're learning as we go. Definitely, just like people say online, you know, read the frickin' manual, guys. It will save your life, and clearly I need to do some more of that. Brandon, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you back here with us. Tonight, unfortunately, Captain Flacco couldn't join us, but stay tuned because we'll definitely be planning to do a duo live stream as usual.
American 781 Heavy, contact Atlanta approach 125.65.
125.65 for American 781 Heavy. I think that's right, 125.65. Yep. Atlanta approach, good evening. American 781 Heavy on the Aussie 1 arrival with Tango.
American 781 Heavy, verify information Tango.
We've got information Tango, American 781 Heavy.
American 781 Heavy, Atlanta approach, altimeter tree 015, expect the visual approach runway 28.
Altimeter 3015, expect the visual approach runway 28, American 781 Heavy. Alright, altimeters verified 3015, and our backup attitude indicator here as 3015. Let's go ahead and start reducing speed 240. There we go, we're showing up on the map, so Kala should be crossed at 9,000. Looks like we're a bit high. There we go, we're on track to cross Kala at 9,000. Below 10,000, landing lights coming on. Let's get our wing light on as well. We're tracking along beautifully. Posey should be crossed above 8,000, which we can confirm on the FMC with the number 8,000 and the letter A. There we go. We've got the call from the stewardess. Cabin is ready for arrival. And we just crossed Kala at 9,000 on our way to Posey, where we should be crossing above 8,000. So after Posey, we've got Bluff, and then the airfield should be to our 1 to 2 o'clock right now. We should be getting vectors to leave Bluff and intercept that localizer for 2-8. Go ahead and reduce speed to 210 knots. It'll help us slow down. And you can see right now, because of that altitude constraint at Posey, the aircraft is trying to stay at least at 8,000. We should be at 8,000 or above while maintaining 210 knots indicated. There we go. We're stable at 8,000 feet.
American 781 Heavy, lead bluff heading 260, expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 28.
Alright, we'll leave bluff on heading 260, expect the radar vector for the visual for runway 28, American 781 Heavy. Let's go ahead and turn right heading 260.
American 781 Heavy, turn right heading 260, descend and maintain 3,000 vectors for the approach. Expect further clearance in about 22 miles.
Right heading 260, down 3,000, expect vectoring 22 miles for the approach. American 781 Heavy.
American 781 Heavy, turn right heading 265.
Right heading 265, American 781 Heavy. So as per usual, looks like they're having us turn in a little early here, a little bit high. So what I'm going to do is engage vertical speed mode and get this descent rate going a little bit faster. Let's get flaps 1 in. I think I've got the airfield in sight. I see some lights. There's the airfield out in the distance. I see the runway outlined there. What I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to engage the localizer mode here. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to have to slew over there. Localizer, and we're going to see once we intercept that localizer. Get the speed brakes out a little bit, help us slow down. You can see the slats are deployed, speed brakes are out for just a moment while we slow her down. There's the runway lights in sight. Let's reduce speed 180. Let's do flaps 5. Gonna help also induce some drag on the aircraft here. And you can see our flap limit. Right now we're at 217, 216, so we still don't want to go for flaps 15. We want to keep descending. Let's reduce this descent rate slightly here.
American 781 Heavy, airport is at your 12 o'clock, 15 miles. Report the field in sight.
We've got the field in sight, American 781 Heavy.
American 781 Heavy, cleared visual approach runway 28.
Cleared visual approach runway 28, American 781 Heavy.
American 781 Heavy, contact Atlanta Tower 132.55.
132.55, American 781 Heavy. Atlanta Tower, good afternoon, American 781 Heavy with you on the visual 28.
American 781 Heavy, Atlanta Tower, continue.
Continue, American 781 Heavy. Alright, we are intercepting the localizer. Gears coming down.
2500.
Let's engage the approach, where we'll be capturing that glide path here, or the glide slope at Juba. Let's reduce speed. Let's get us down to 139, which is our VREF speed. Flaps 15. Nose landing light. There we go. Taxi light on. Logo light on. Let's keep the speed up for now while we intercept that glide slope. Let's go flaps 20. We'll go ahead and arm the speed brake. And let's begin reducing speed to final approach speed of 139 knots. Let's go flaps 30.
American 781 Heavy, wind 285 at 5, runway 28, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, runway 28, American 781 Heavy. Alright, we got a beautiful approach here. Gear down and locked. We've got flaps 30, speed brake is armed. We've got a green checklist for the landing. I'm going to go ahead and disengage the auto throttle and autopilot.
1000.
My controls. A little bit low there, let's climb. Take off this flight director right now, I don't need it. Again, monitoring our airspeed for a final approach speed, or VREF, of 139. A little bit high.
500. Plus 100. Minimums.
Continue.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Hold it right there. And we got the mains touchdown. 2 in reverse. Manual braking. Reverse thrust.
781 Heavy, exit right at Sierra Golf 2.
Exiting right at Sierra Golf 2 for American 781 Heavy. Slow this puppy down, we're coming in pretty hot there.
American 781 Heavy, contact ground 121.9er.
Going to ground on 121.9er, American 781 Heavy.
Negative, ground on 121.9er.
Ground on 121.9er, American 781 Heavy.
Negative, ground on 121.9er.
I'll do the automatic handoff.
Ground 121.9er, American 781 Heavy.
Ground American 781 Heavy, clear of runway 28, requesting taxi to the gate.
American 781 Heavy, welcome to Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta I Airport. Say parking or advise if need assignment.
American 781 Heavy, requesting taxi to gate Alpha 10, A10.
American 781 Heavy, unfortunately, gate 10 Alpha, unknown Alpha isn't available at this airport. Please choose another.
And American 781 Heavy will take any available parking.
American 781 Heavy, gate Foxtrot 7 taxi via Sierra Golf 4, Sierra Golf, Sierra Charlie, Romeo. Hold short runway 27 left.
Alright, we'll taxi to gate Foxtrot 7 via Sierra Golf 4, Sierra Golf, Sierra Charlie, Romeo. Hold short of 27 left. Alright, while we taxi there, let's go ahead and clean up the flaps. Speed brakes coming up. We'll take off our strobe light, landing lights off. And we'll keep all the other stuff on. So let's go ahead and taxi. That was Sierra Golf 4, Sierra Golf. So we're getting the stutters again, so let me clear that out real quick. And this happens obviously on the ground level sometimes with the textures and the sceneries loading up. I have no idea what that Frontier Airbus is doing. I thought he was on the takeoff roll, and it looks like he had a rejected takeoff. Interesting. So we are on Sierra Golf. We're anticipating Sierra Charlie. Let's bring up the airport diagram. And why do I get the feeling that Frontier might be cutting us off here? Well, while they figure out what they want to do, we are going to take the left here on Sierra Charlie. There we go. We'll select gate Foxtrot 7 since that's what ATC wanted us to go to. So show me this spot and activate. And we will select I guess we'll go with Swissport. And off there in the distance, you can see the blue arrows showing where the gate's located. So eventually we'll get there. Oh, here we go. Yep. I had a feeling this was going to happen. Yeah, you go ahead, buddy. You go ahead. You clearly have somewhere to go. And this Atlanta scenery is a third-party payware add-on. I forget who makes it. I'll be honest, we just have a lot of sceneries here that we play with all the time, and I forget. But I know the default sim does come with a good scenery, but we always like upgrading to the more higher fidelity airfields, and that's exactly what we did here. Okay, here's Romeo coming up, so we're gonna make a right. Of course, we expect to see here nothing but Delta Airlines, and you can see those tails over there.
American 781 Heavy, cross runway 27 left at Romeo. Continue taxi via Sierra Charlie Romeo, November 12, November 1 tree. Hold short runway 27 right.
Holy heck, what an instruction. Okay, we'll cross 27 left at Romeo. Continue taxi via Sierra Charlie Romeo, November 12, November 13. Hold short 27 right.
Negative. Continue taxi via Sierra Charlie Romeo, November 12, November 1 tree.
Continue taxi via Sierra Charlie Romeo, November 12, November 13 for American 781 Heavy. I might have missed the intersection that he wanted us to turn at. Alright, so it looks like we're taking Romeo all the way down there and crossing 27 left and then holding short of 27 right. Let's give it some gas here. There goes the stutters again. We'll keep it in the cockpit view for now, just to save some time. And there's Concourse F, Foxtrot, where we see a Korean Air 747. Looks like an 800. So we'll be parking somewhere there, where the heavies go. Alright, we're getting ready to cross 27 left at Romeo. Let's go ahead and throw our landing lights on. Runway turn off and strobe lights on. There's November 1-2. Now we're taking November 1-3. Turning off landing lights, strobe lights. And again, we were cleared to cross 27 left, but hold short of 28 right on November 1-3. And Atlanta ground, American 781 heavy, holding short of 27 right.
American 781 heavy cross runway 27 right at November 1 tree. Continue taxi via November 1-2, November 1 tree, Mike 16, Lima 12, ramp 9er.
Good lord, these instructions are wild. Alright, cross runway 27 right at November 1-3. Continue taxi via November 1-2, November 1-3, Mike 16, Lima 12, ramp 9. American 781 heavy. Mike 16, Lima 12, ramp 9. Lima 12. Let me turn off these landing lights. And let's call GSX again to show me that spot. There we go. Well, look at that. We're going to be right next to that heavy. Next to that 74800. While we're taxiing in, let's go ahead and start our APU. A little bit of lag here. I think our gate is occupied by that 7-4. Let me just triple check again. Nope. Alright, we're good. I think I see the docking station there, the guide. Let's go ahead and turn off this taxi light. So this is the first time I park here using this type of system. I typically have a marshaller. We'll see how this goes. There's our K-loaders waiting for us to come in. Okay. We'll keep going in. And we are stopped. Not sure if we're at our right parking spot. Let me go forward a little bit more. Yeah, I guess we're good. Okay, we are parked. Let's shut the engines off. Turn off the seatbelt signs. Beacon light coming off. Let's go ahead and kill the fuel pumps. Turn off the window heat. And let's go ahead and give GSX a call. There's the jetway moving in. Now we'll go to the Pmdg menu. Let's set the wheel chocks. And let's go to the electronic flight back here. Ground operations, door management, disarm all. And let's go ahead and open up our cargo for our deboarding. And looks like we gotta set the hydraulic panel for shutdown. So this part I'm not too familiar with, what it wants us to do with the hydraulic panel. Oh well. We'll keep it like that. Let's take a look outside, see what's going on. Well, I see the K-loaders there waiting for us. I don't know why they haven't moved in to deboard the aircraft. And again, let me just clear this out. They are open. Interesting. Yep, they're not moving. Oh, there they go. There they go. They heard me. They heard me. So here we go. I'll just showcase the beauty of GSX Pro once again. You guys might have seen our video recently of is it worth it or not? Well, here you go. Real life take on how it makes the environment a lot better. I'm just going to leave it here for a second so you guys can see the deboarding process. There's the first cargo container coming out. You can see the K-loader fully animated as the operator drives the container out. There you have it, folks. You get a quick demonstration of what GSX does for you in the sim. Real quick before I get offline here, before I shut it down. Once again, let's reset the graphics thing here because As you guys have seen by now, it is pretty annoying. But that about does it, guys. I just wanted to do a quick hop here with the 777, just getting used to it. Definitely a whole different beast to get used to flying, you know. I kind of came at it a little cocky, thinking, it's okay, I've got the 7.3 down pat, but this is a very, very different aircraft to fly. The way it handles on the descents, very, very finicky, very particular. Of course, I still have to learn a lot about what each button does, where to find all the specifics, but I feel a lot better now. I feel like I'm slowly getting a hang of it. But guys, I am going to drop it off here. It is now 3:05 in the morning here in Florida, and it is time for me to hit the sack. So guys, I can't thank you enough. For those of you that tuned in while we were live, thank you for watching. And if you guys are seeing this sometime in the future, I hope you enjoy the views and you enjoy the content that we put out. As always, we are working to keep pumping out some new videos whenever we get a chance, but Captain Flacco and myself, we both have full-time jobs, we have families to take care of, so sometimes priorities get in the way of flight simming, unfortunately. So thank you guys for watching. We love you guys. We appreciate all the feedback and comments. Keep giving us some feedback on all the videos we put out there. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, follow us. And guys, this is Captain Gonzo with that Flight Sim channel. As always, happy flying. See you on the next one.
Thank you for choosing that Flight Sim channel. We invite you to our next stream as we take the skies once again. Until next time, and as always, happy flying.